Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/Am I Wrong, where OP absolutely refuses to be a simp to his cheating hoe wife. Let's begin. Am I wrong for planning to divorce my wife because I caught her in a fundamental lie? Posted by Reddit user Food Gym Real Estate.
I have been with my soon-to-be ex-wife for 5 years, married for 2. We also have a 1-year-old daughter. Up until this past weekend, we've had a great relationship. As in I didn't have any major complaints. Small things here and there, but any conflict we've always been able to have a calm discussion and work out our issues. I want to clarify that I never expected to date or marry a virgin considering the condition of the dating market, nor do I have a specific number in mind for a deal breaker. That being said, in the early stages of dating she brought up the topic of body count. I'm not saying that I wouldn't eventually have asked, but I never pressed her for that info. She willingly told me her body count was 12, much lower than I expected. She's an attractive woman with a high sex drive, but a high sex drive doesn't mean sleeping around. I didn't question or emphasize it. I take most people at their word and let time shed light on lies. Looking back, that was a mistake. Anyway, my soon-to-be ex-wife's best friend, let's call her Lauren, is a former colleague of mine. Lauren was the one who introduced me to my wife. At the time, we were all in the healthcare field, and all 3 of us were nurse practitioners. Currently, only soon-to-be ex-wife has the same job title. Lauren hit a major milestone recently and landed her dream job. Or more accurately put, Lauren saved up enough money to realistically go into business for herself in a field completely unrelated to healthcare. Friday, we all went out for drinks to celebrate and support Lauren, amongst a handful of other people. This part is very important. My soon-to-be ex-wife and I do not drink. We're not sober, but we both had a crazy drinking phase in college and we're over alcohol. We both are also educated health nuts. We eat clean, work out regularly, and it's hard for us to not see what alcohol really is, which is poison. Friday would be the first time either of us even remotely got tipsy together, let alone drunk. It's not that we won't drink, it just isn't appealing. We'll drink on special occasions, and that's not a guarantee. For the duration of the relationship, the handful of times we have had alcoholic drinks, it was separate and far and few in between. It was planned that way, but we primarily have different friend groups. This celebration, we said screw it and let the drinks flow. It's abundantly obvious that our alcohol tolerance no longer exists. We're getting toasted, Lauren is getting toasted, and so is everyone else in the group. But it's a good time. We're not hurting anyway, and we're having fun. Lauren and soon-to-be ex-wife get to talking about their crazy times in college. I failed to mention they met in college. I didn't hear every single detail, as the conversation was between them, but I heard enough to know hookups were consistent and not outliers. She had multiple group play experiences, and what made me really want to throw up is that my wife engaged in pay-for-play. If we're not sugarcoating, then prostitution. Listening to their stories, dots didn't need to be connected to come to the conclusion her number was way over 12. Obviously, I'm in a bad mood and still am, but I continue to save face because I don't want to ruin Lauren's celebration. The train of thought at the time was I like Lauren, her friends, and her boyfriend. I would feel incredibly guilty for ruining their night. As I write this, I'm not sure how I feel about Lauren. It's not her job to tell me these things about my wife, but she did introduce us, and she knew my false interpretation of my wife. They are best friends, so her loyalty would be with my soon-to-be ex-wife opposed to me, but now that I think of it, I don't think I can continue being friends with her. I digress. As the night ended and we're all going our separate ways, I used that opportunity to question my wife. Not in a pressing manner, but as a happy drunk inquiring. My wife is out of it, mentally and loose-lipped. She was the majority of the night. I bring up the stories, but at a surface level. After keeping the conversation light and fun, I asked her about her body count as casually as possible considering the context. I didn't have to yank it out of her, and to keep it short, she didn't give or know the exact number, but she admitted the number was more than 100. When the Uber arrived, she passed out on the way home. I made sure she got home through the door, settled, and booked an Uber to my brother's house, which is only 30 minutes from us. My brother was babysitting our daughter for the night. He has one of those doors that doesn't require a physical key, but a numeric passcode to unlock the door. Prior to showing up, I texted him letting him know I'm passing out on his couch. I'm welcomed almost anytime, but the heads-up text was a safety precaution. It was late, and we love our guns here in Texas. In the morning, fighting a massive hangover, I caught my brother up to speed. He had 2 things to say. The first is that she strategically lied and manipulated me to alter my perception of her in order to gain an outcome in her favor. This was a conclusion that I came to on my own, just not as well played out as he presented it. The second thing he said, I only partially thought of. He brought it to my attention that if she's that calculated and manipulative, what else is she lying about? Again, I came up with that thought as well. This is why I no longer consider her trustworthy, but what he said next didn't cross my mind. He told me, that being said, he highly encourages me to get a DNA test for my daughter, since my wife is willing to lie about fundamental concepts and her word can't be taken at face value. In that moment, I felt sick. Well, sicker. With that thought, and the amount of alcohol I had the night before, I literally threw up all over his floor. To speed this story up, I took my daughter home and confronted my wife. She confessed to lying about her body count, apologized profusely, and laid out the waterworks. I expressed anger and hurt, but I haven't mentioned divorce or a paternity test. Divorce will inevitably happen. I'm planning to begin searching for a lawyer this upcoming Monday and to schedule a meeting as soon as possible. I'll also get a paternity for my daughter to verify if she's indeed mine as a P. I haven't relayed any of this to my soon-to-be ex-wife. The way I see it, the smartest move is to contact a lawyer first, find out the results of the paternity test, and follow what my lawyer says as we wait for and receive the results of the test. I have no idea how long either of these will take. I'm no law expert. I've never been divorced, nor do I have anyone close to that has been divorced. I'm going to stay in my lane and be patient for my lawyer advice, and to get the paternity results, as that will play a huge role on future involvement for when the divorce is initiated and finalized. This is why I'm asking, am I wrong? I've got some feedback on this, but this is what I want to highlight. Body count aside, I can't stop thinking about the concept of the lie. That's what bothers me the most. There's no excuse, regardless of fear or reasoning, to go out of one's way to intentionally manipulate the truth in order to give false representation for an outcome that suits one best. What she has shown me is that she can't be trusted. Her word means nothing. That's the primary reason, although body count is relevant to me, for initiating the divorce. I talked to my mother today about this and she's adamantly against my plan. She won't interfere, but she is biased. My daughter is her only grandchild. Positive or negative results, my mom will see her as her grandchild, but she knows that I don't share that same viewpoint. She didn't directly call me an asshole, but she did everything but that. I'm asking, am I wrong for this? And now, for OP's update. I was going to change how I formatted the update. A lot of people complained about my pacing. Some said it was too long, others said it wasn't detailed enough. Here's an idea. Click off now if you don't like the way I'm writing this. You literally don't have to read this. I will use a program to touch up my grammar. I know my spelling and grammar is trash. I'll start with the biggest update. I took a paternity test and the results concluded I'm not the father. This was obviously devastating for me, especially since I've been processing this alone. I haven't told anyone, not even my brother, who is the person I typically confide in. I'm just not ready to have an in-face conversation about this with anyone. I genuinely don't have the words to explain the emotional roller coaster that info was for me. Now that I know I'm not the father, I'll answer the question that was commonly asked of me, which is, what will I do if the results came back that I'm not the father? I have made the decision to not raise her. Paternity matters to me, and my personality is very black and white. She's not mine, and I can't spend my life playing pretend. The only comfort I have from this is that she won't remember me. She's too young, meaning she doesn't have any long-term memories. As for the divorce papers, they haven't been served. My soon-to-be ex-wife knows there's a rift in our relationship, but she doesn't know divorce is coming, nor is she aware of the paternity results. She'll find out the same day when the divorce papers are delivered. Luckily for me, she has virtually zero chance of squeezing alimony out of me. The combination of the duration of our marriage, a prenup, and her earnings, she won't get a dime from me. Getting my name off the birth certificate and all the legal bullshit that comes with that might be a different story, but I'll just have to see how the deck falls. Regardless, I won't be a parent, even if I'm forced into child support. As for the current state of my relationship, my wife admitted that she intentionally deceived in regards to her lying about her body count. This was early on. She knew next to nothing about me, what I thought about the subject, and how I'd react. All she knew was that she liked me and really wanted to see if we could become something. I know for a lot of people they would take that answer as a valid excuse for lying. I just see it as pathetic. There's been a lot of crying and begging on her part for me to have a meaningful conversation with her. I'm just not interested. She's dead to me. I don't care who she cheated with, for how long, or for how many. I don't care what other lies she has told me during our relationship. I don't care if she's genuinely remorseful or if she's just putting on a show. All I know is I'm ready to be separated from both legally and physically. One thing I'm really struggling with is whether or not I want to nuke her life. One big thing I can do is get her fired and make finding work extremely difficult for her. Her job means everything to her. When we started getting serious and were discussing marriage, I told her we can either be traditional or modern, but we're not combining different aspects of both. So we split everything 50-50, have our own bank accounts, and one account together for bills. She chose this dynamic because of her job, because it's her passion. I'm glad she did, as it is making separating a lot easier for me. I can destroy her reputation socially without it being considered defamation. I'm an emotional anchor for her. I can use that to my advantage. And if I'm being honest, the only reason I'm contemplating restraint is that she is going to be a single mom soon, and that's going to be a huge adjustment for her. The better mental and financial shape soon-to-be ex-wife is in, the better position she'll be in to provide a stable life for her daughter. She might have to take on a less demanding role anyway, as I'm currently still the primary caretaker of her daughter. I put more effort into parenthood to soon-to-be ex-wife. I have a flexible work schedule, so her daughter is with me during the work week. Perks of having your own company. I would wake up in the middle of the night to bottle feed her. Soon-to-be ex-wife didn't breastfeed, and I was just an overall enthusiastic parent. I was happy to do anything and everything. How could I not? I had 50% of me on another human that I got to watch grow up. I didn't want to miss a second. That's the stuff that kills more than anything. Anyway, that's what I have for now. If I do a second update, I'll put more time and thought into it. I'm just blabbering away right now.
No, OP, you are not wrong for divorcing your wife, and if I were in your position, I would let everyone in my circle know the exact truth, but I wouldn't ruin her career just yet. Look man, she's an asshole for the degree of lying that she did, and I'm still laughing at the comments who tell you to just get over it. I'm pretty sure that very few of them would just really accept a gangbang and a former prostitute lying to them about it. Literally none of them would just say, "Oh well, it is what it is." Except for those who are white knights and fellow hoes. And now, let's add to the equation that the kid is not yours. I mean, why is the comment section in your post calling you a loser for not raising another man's baby? It's fucking filled with simps and hoes. Look man, I'm glad that you're not tolerating this bullshit, but you should still wait until the divorce is final before you destroy her career. Otherwise, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.